Hi, this is a re-recording of the webinar on sleep and what we can learn about better sleep and also why sleep is important. So this is a re-recording of a session done on Monday, July 25th at 6:30 in the evening on the Wiser Health and Fitness platform. Okay, so we're going to go straight into a screen sharing, and I'm going to just go ahead and get right into the PowerPoints. All right, so wake up and sleep better. And I am Kathleen King. All right, these are my credentials. And on top of my credentials are also on the left-hand side, just my disclosures, right? So my name is Kathleen King. I'm here to share public knowledge about medical information. I'm not giving specific medical advice to specific people. The goal is to provide additional knowledge and clarification so you can have meaningful discussions with your doctor or care team on ways to enhance your overall wellness. No relevant financial relationship to disclose. I do have my own company called Reliable RN. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. And I always want to thank Liz Saunders from Wiser Health and Fitness because they host this particular webinar on their site. And that way we have the ability to collaborate a little bit. So I receive no funds from Wiser Health and Fitness. Okay, I wanted to talk first about the importance of sleep. So looking at the left-hand side of your screen, let's just tick through why sleep is so important. 1, long-term mood disorders. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to disorders like depression and anxiety, okay? So our sleep helps us to mediate, to moderate, to control our moods a little bit. 2, sickness. People who do not sleep well tend to be more sick. And that's because as we sleep, it actually helps to build our immune system. So our immune system needs that time to recover. 3, diabetes. Studies suggest that people who sleep less than 5 hours a night have an increased risk of having or developing diabetes. 4, infertility. Sleep disruptions can reduce the effectiveness or the secretion of reproductive hormones, creating trouble conceiving. 5, weight gain. Studies show that people who get less than 7 hours of sleep a day are 30% more likely to be obese. 6, low libido. Men and women who don't get enough sleep generally are not that interested in sex. And 7, heart disease. Long-term sleep deprivation is associated with increased heart rate, blood pressure, and higher rates of chronic inflammation, which actually leads to a lot of problems when we talk about cardiac disease. So we go to the right-hand side and it says, we're just going to say it a little differently. What happens when you don't sleep, right? So 1, I think you've all seen this, reaction time is slowed. More accidents occur. So we talk about car accidents, we talk about biking, we talk about running into things, okay? Judgment and concentration are impaired. The Army has issues with this. That's why they have rules about how long pilots can be up. So does the aviation industry in general. Pilots are only allowed to work so long. And it's true even for healthcare. Nurses are only allowed to be on the floor for 16 hours in the state of Massachusetts. After that, they must get an 8-hour break. Release of more appetite stimulating hormones. So we talk about this weight gain. What's actually happening is when you don't have enough sleep, your body is trying to recover from that. And it's generally telling you that you're hungry, that you know it's going to release hormones to try to get you to eat more. The immune system can be suppressed. And of course, that increases your risk of illness. And emotions are heightened. So, an addict, somebody who struggles with addiction of any kind, whether it's drug or alcohol or food or anything, they'll often say that, the four triggers, two of the big triggers are hunger and sleep. Hunger, if you're tired or you're hungry, you tend to be less likely to be able to handle the assault to your system, right? Any assault, whether it's an emotional assault, whether it's a physical assault, anything that kind of comes after you, you tend to react more emotionally than you might otherwise. So I want to talk a little bit about the stages of sleep as well. So sleep is kind of cyclic, almost like a clock. It's kind of cyclic in terms of you start out at this awake stage and you come down stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you kind of come back up to where you hit this, what we call REM. REM sleep is kind of this restorative sleep where, we might call it where we're dreaming. And then you cycle back down a little deeper when you're in deep sleep. Again, different things happen. So let's just go through the steps. So 1, this interim between consciousness and sleep. So you move to stage 2 after about 5 to 15 minutes, usually, of this interim, this consciousness and sleep. When I'm really overtired, sometimes what happens is I literally almost dream that I'm falling down a flight of stairs and my whole body shakes. I don't know if that ever happens to other people, but sometimes that's like my body relaxing into this next stage. Doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes when I think it's when I'm overtired. But so stage 2, your heart rate slows and your brain starts doing less complicated tasks, right? So your brain is starting to just worry about breathing, just worry about the temperature, just worry about relaxing. And then after about another 15 minutes or more, you might come into the REM. You're going to start to enter a little bit into REM sleep. You're starting to move into stage 3. Stage 3 is where the body makes repairs. So this is where your body gets rid of dead cells and makes new ones. Helps to make red blood cells. All those things our body does to kind of get rid of old stuff that's not working and get our body ready for the next day. That's how we start going into this in 3. In 4, your body temperature and your blood pressure decrease, right? So you're actually your body temperature is you're gonna get a little cooler and your blood pressure is gonna decrease. And then you're kind of gonna move again into this this REM. So REM sleep often is about 90 minutes after you've started falling asleep or started feeling sleepy. And in REM sleep, you have increase in eye movement. Your heart rate actually increases, your breathing increases, your blood pressure increases, and so does your temperature. So it's funny, but through the night, your temperature does fluctuate. And what you're going to see in a minute, the temperature actually can be a problem for some people and some of the reasons why they're not sleeping well. And it's one of the reasons you're starting to see ads for sleep beds that monitor temperature and look at your body temperature and kind of, your side can be cooler than your spouse's side. One side can be warm, one side can be cool. It's because temperature is important in us getting good sleep. All right, so the 3 biggest issues with sleep. This is pretty tried and true what we hear about. These are the 3 biggest issues with sleep we find. 1, I can't fall asleep. 2, I can't stay asleep. 3, I wake up still feeling tired. So number 1, I can't fall asleep. Usually, some of the reasons for I can't fall asleep are inconsistent sleep schedule. Your body likes a schedule, just like you used to have for your children or you have for your children. And just like your schedule with anything else, with work or anything, we like routine. Our bodies, we talk about circadian rhythm. That's our body's circadian rhythm. When it wakes up, when it goes to sleep, when it's active, we like that to be predictable. Our bodies work best when that's predictable. 2, too much light exposure before bed. too much caffeine before bed, stress, or exercising too late. Sometimes we rev up our bodies just an hour or two before we're hoping to wind down and go to sleep. That makes it hard to go from that stage 1 into stage 2 and stage 2 into stage 3, right? Where we talked about heart rates and blood pressures. If your body is still recovering from exercising, it might not want to let you get too relaxed too quickly. Let's go to the second one. I can't stay asleep. This is actually the typical comment that we would use to describe insomnia. Insomnia typically is I can't stay asleep. It's not I can't fall asleep. It's not I wake up tired. It's that somehow my sleep gets interrupted and I can't get back to sleep. So some of the causes of that: 1, the room is too noisy, hot, too cold, or bright. 2, anxiety and stress. If you are sitting with a ton of anxiety and stress, it will be very hard for that brain to let it go and start doing less complicated activities. 3, there could be a physical reason you can't stay asleep. So bladder issues, thyroid issues, sleep apnea, restless leg issues, all of those could be reasons why you struggle to stay asleep. And those physical issues literally probably require a trip to your doctor, or at least a conversation with your doctor. Alcohol before bed. While alcohol might seem like it helps you to fall asleep, it certainly does not help you to stay asleep. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Eating too close to bed or not eating enough earlier. So you skip dinner, but then you go to bed. Well, 5 or 6 hours later, you're going to be hungry, right? So your body's going to wake up because it's like, hey, I was supposed to get dinner. What happened, right? But the opposite is true too, eating too close to bed. So you have a big meal right before bed. You're supposed to be digesting that. So your body is supposed to be using hormones, temperature, all these things to digest that food. But we're also asking it to slow down and not do complicated things. So it's confused. It doesn't know what to do. So it tries to calm down and let you go to sleep, but it's going to wake you because it's like, wait, I didn't finish digesting that food. You got to give me a little bit. So that can be a problem. Now, number 3, I wake up still feeling tired. Honestly, this almost always points to a sleep apnea or some sort of physical issue. If you actually sleep through the night, or, for the most part, you think your sleep is okay, but you still wake up feeling tired, there really could be an apnea tied to that, sometimes even a narcolepsy. So you fall asleep, but you don't really rest. But some of the reasons for I wake up still feeling tired that aren't that would be this sleep inertia. So sleep inertia is what is also called morning grogginess. That's you hit the snooze 4 or 5 times and you're slowly kind of coming out of waking up, but you're kind of going between sleep and wake for, I don't know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. That could make you wake up and still feel tired. Blue light exposure. These are mostly your devices. It's going to be your computers, your phones, blue light. There's a blue light filter on almost all of our devices. So if you don't already have a blue light filter on, you might want to talk to friends or figure out how to turn it on to your devices. But they do find that people who are exposed to blue light overnight tend to wake up still feeling tired. Poor sleep hygiene. Poor sleep hygiene kind of goes back to inconsistent sleep schedule. When we talk about sleep hygiene, we talk about, like, think of hygiene with showering and stuff, right? You would say, every morning you got to brush your teeth and you got to wash your face and you got to get dressed and ready for work, right? Every week you do your wash. All of that is like hygiene stuff. So poor sleep hygiene means you're not taking care to make sure you're going to bed at a real time, that you're in comfortable pajamas, that your room is comfortable, that your environment is set up to relax, all that kind of stuff. Alcohol before bed. We're back to alcohol before bed. Still not good for you. And sleep disorders. So something like a sleep apnea would allow you to wake up still feeling tired. I know I'm moving through this quickly, but we try to keep these really short. So what we're going to talk about now is what we do in each of these instances. So let's say you're the I can't fall asleep person. Okay. So here are some tips for improving falling asleep. One, take a warm shower before you go to bed. How many of us, when we had children, would give them a bath before bed, right? We'd give them a bath, we read them a story, we rub their back. We do a progression going towards bed, relaxing them to go to bed. Same is true as an adult. Take a warm shower. Dim the lights at least an hour before bed. Stop drinking caffeine after 2 p.m. Take time to relax in the evening. So whatever that means to you, whatever relaxing means to you, reading a book, prayer, meditation, yoga, watching TV is fine. It's just that you're probably going to want to shut it off a good half hour before you want to go to bed. Exercise in the morning or at least 4 hours before bedtime, and practice good sleep hygiene and prioritize sleep. We do not prioritize sleep. We talk about having this like love-hate relationship with it. You know, do we really need to sleep? I can stay up all night. You do need to sleep, and it's about your health and your wellness. So I want you to think about prioritizing your sleep. All right. So let's say you fall into the second category. You don't have any trouble falling asleep. You're exhausted, but somehow you wake up in the middle of the night and you struggle with getting back. And again, we would consider this classic insomnia. Okay. So here are some suggestions. Do not eat heavy or spicy meals before bed. Do regular exercise 20 minutes a day. Exercise actually is going to help you to be able to sleep through the night. When you physically expend yourself, your body actually wants to rest. So that regular physical exercise is sometimes very helpful. And again, 20-minute walk. I'm not asking for a marathon, 20 minutes a day, a walk, something. Don't nap during the day. If you're somebody who's struggling to sleep at night, napping is probably not going to be helpful to you. This does depend on your age. For our seniors, somebody who is over the age of 75, 80, having a nap during the day is probably not going to significantly affect your sleep at night unless you sleep for 2-3 hours, right? A nap is not going to do it. But if you need a nap, you might want to set a timer so you don't oversleep. Because then you don't want to throw off, again, you don't want to throw off your circadian rhythm. You want your rhythm to be that you go to bed at night. Reduce the number of tasks you need to do. This is on all of us. We all have too many tasks to do. If you can just give away some of the least important ones, you might find that you're going to be able to sleep a little better. Make your bedroom conducive to sleep. That means the right style of blankets and the right amount of them. If you're cold or you're going to run the AC in the summer and it's going to make you freezing, please make sure there's blankets in your bedroom. If you like to sleep with no AC and the room is always warm, then make sure all your blankets are light or that you have a fan, or you might want some white noise because that might help you to fall off to sleep and to stay asleep. If you're somebody who jolts out of bed at the slightest noise in the house. I know that's for me. I think it's a mom thing, but I feel like I could hear every creak in the house at night. So for me, I do use a white noise machine. I actually use Waves. So that helps me to sleep. Playing, listening to soft songs or calm music, but can help, but you need to reduce the light from any device. So if you're using a device like your phone or something for that calm music, turn it upside down so there's no ambient light coming from it. And also it's good if it will automatically shut off after a certain period of time, right? So using it to go to sleep is helpful, but having it play during the entire night, probably less helpful. Because when you're going through those cycles and you get to REM, if you bump a little higher, you come into that wake state. And once you come into that wake state, you have to kind of go down through stage 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And so that's where a lot of people get hung up. So it's nice if you have music, but it's good if it has a time limit. Start doing meditation or yoga or use prayer leading into sleep. Cannot tell you how great that is. We even talk about that for people going into surgery, right? We always want them to be as calm as possible. We want them to be thinking about happy things, about gratitude, about, just a strong peace of mind as you're going into surgery or as you're falling asleep does help you to stay asleep. It's going to help to calm anxieties and ban work from the bedroom. So if you absolutely have to have a desk in your bedroom, have a set time that no work is done after X amount of time, right? If you can close up the desk, close up the desk. No matter what, try to close down the computer. Make it so that bedtime and your bedroom are for rest, relaxation, calm, and work is work, as best you can. All right, so let's say you're the person who you can fall asleep, you feel like you're sleeping through the night, kind of, but somehow during the day, you still feel like you're waking up tired. So there's a couple tricks to not, to kind of tricking your body to feel like you're not waking up tired. So one, let the light in. So natural morning light does help us with our circadian rhythm. We tend to want to go to bed when it's dark. We tend to want to get up when it's light. So having somewhere in your room where morning light can come in, maybe not directly on your eyes, but somewhere in the room so it kind of lightens the room. That actually will help you to kind of wake up to a natural rhythm. Stop hitting snooze. So try to set a realistic wake up time that allows for an appropriate amount of sleep. Setting your alarm for 6 so you can snooze it 15 times so you really get up at 7, not very helpful, because that time from 6 to 7, you're not getting real sleep because you're constantly being interrupted. And 2, you're literally setting yourself up to kind of feel like you want to still be tired and you want to still be asleep, but you have to get to that awake state. So you're almost battling with your circadian rhythm, right? So if your body says it's time to get up and you're saying, no, I'm not going to really get up. I want to stay asleep a little longer. Your circadian rhythm is getting confusing messages. So try not to give it confusing messages. Create a daily exercise routine. Again, 20 minutes. You go out for a walk, you do something for 20 minutes, okay? And then set a bedtime and a wake up time and stick to it, even on the weekends. Something with a 6 to 8 hour sleeping period. So, if you are always going to go to bed at 11 and try to wake up at 6, great. You're always going to go to bed at midnight and still get up at 6. It's a little tight. You only have a 6-hour window, but it's doable. And then, some days you might go to bed a half hour early or a half hour, you sleep a half hour late, but changing the routine doesn't actually usually help you to sleep longer. Setting a good routine that gives you at least 6 to 8 hours will help produce a routine that will solidify your circadian rhythm so that your body is expecting, the next day, this is about the time I go to sleep. Oh, this is about the time I wake up. Oh, this is about the time I go to sleep. We like regularity. Our bodies, our minds, our mental health, we all like structure. It helps us to function better in the world, okay? And if the above does not help after a week or two, if none of these things happen, right? So, you say, Kath, I have trouble falling asleep. I tried all your stuff. It's still not working. Or, you know what? I'm still tired when I wake up. I've tried all these things. It's not working for me. It's time to speak to your doctor. Okay? This is an actual medical problem. Your body physically needs sleep. It's affecting your health, right? So if you need to, you get a sleep study. And a sleep study will help rule out sleep apnea as a possible source of sleep disruption. And, if you rule out sleep apnea, then you start going through the other things. So now we talk about, do we have to talk about the thyroid, restless leg, ongoing pain? People with ongoing pain will also have sleep disruptions. So maybe we need to manage the pain, overactive bladder, and or stress and anxiety. If you're not managing your stress and anxiety, then that is a reason to talk to your doctor. Those are things that what I'm trying to do here is create a system where your working towards your wellness, and you're working with your doctor towards wellness, not the not going to the doctor because, oh my gosh, I feel awful and I'm sick again. How about we go see them for things to prevent illness, right? So this would be a good reason to go and talk to your doctor to prevent an illness go down the line. Okay. These are medical conditions and they are best managed by trusted medical professionals, whoever you use. All right. So sleep aids. We do use them here in the US. Some people would say we overuse them. I think it depends on what it is. And we probably do overuse them because I think we don't do a really good job with sleep hygiene and prioritizing sleep. But for natural or holistic sleeping aids, herbal tea, any teas with no caffeine, chamomile, I believe there's a couple flower type herbal teas that help. Tart cherry juice, believe it or not, has natural melatonin in it, but supposedly tart cherry juice is very helpful. Malted milk. Warm milk has been used for years to help people fall asleep. They just suggested malted milk might be a little better than just standard warm milk. Almonds, walnuts, kiwi, those all also have melatonin or natural properties that help your body to kind of release hormones that make you want to go to sleep. It's a little bit like the turkey. I'm not suggesting you eat turkey before bed though, so that's a Thanksgiving thing. I listed Zenimal. Zenimal is a little device. It looks like a turtle, and they have it for kids, and they also have it for adults and teens. And it's a device that has 14 meditations built in, and it's kind of the goal is to get your cell phone away from you in bed because of light and because our minds are still going with our cell phones and distractions. And what this does is if you woke up in the middle of the night, you could press one of the meditations and it would softly talk to you and do a meditation to help you to fall back asleep. And then it would shut itself off in 10 or 15 minutes, right? So I just happened to have gotten it for two of my children, a 22 and a 24-year-old, and the 22-year-old loves his. 24-year-old, he could take it or leave it. But and then I talked about this white noise or sound machines. For a lot of people, that helps to decrease ambient noise so that you're not startled into a sense of awakeness in the middle of the night. You hear the white noise and it's just a calming sound and it tends to drown out anything else happening in the house. Sleeping aids to discuss with your doctor, right? So melatonin, a lot of people use melatonin. It was actually very helpful during COVID. Melatonin the doses can be from 1 to 10 milligrams, something nice and low, 1, 2, or 3. Generally, nobody has a problem with, and it doesn't really affect other medications, but it's over the counter, but it's definitely worth talking to your doctor if you want to add melatonin. A lot of people use it. I happen to use it because I used to be a night nurse. And so melatonin helps to solidify my hormones and get me back on a normal circadian rhythm. Over-the-counter sleep aids, Tylenol PM, Sominex, NyQuil, there's a ton of them. I really suggest you don't start using them without talking to your doctor, or you use them maybe for a week and then talk to your doctor and say, hey, this is really working, or it's not working, or this is what I tried. But they're not inconsequential. Some of them are addictive. They do have addictive qualities to them. And you should at least have a conversation if you feel like you need to use a sleep aid. Cannabis, same type of deal. If you're going to use it, in Massachusetts, it is a legal substance. I suggest that you get at a dispensary. I suggest that you do a set dose, that you don't alter the dose. If you feel like you need to increase the dose consistently, again, please bring it up with your doctor because there's got to be something going on if you need it. You physically need it to fall asleep or to stay asleep. Benzodiazepine, so your Ativans and Xanax, these are anti-anxiety medications, but they really can help with sleep. And again, you have to weigh, if you're not going to sleep without it, you need to sleep. So if you could take a low dose of one of these and it's going to enhance your sleep, it might actually enhance your mood and decrease your anxiety levels to the point where you might not need it at other times during the day. So it might be a good plan for you, but that's something to discuss with your MD. Like that's a plan with your medical team to discuss. And restless leg medications, a lot of people take restless leg medications and they just happen to also be medications that help with sleep. So if you have restless leg, it's certainly something you should get treated. It would be helpful. All right, and then identified sleep apnea. If you've done a sleep study and they have said you do have sleep apnea, the best management is almost always a CPAP machine, is what they call it. Some people have BiPAP machines. There are a few dental appliances that work for some people, but if you have identified sleep apnea, it's like having identified hypertension. It's something that should be managed by your healthcare professional. It's a discussion you have with them. You start to plan what you're going to do or how you're going to manage it, because sleep apnea means that you are actually getting decreased amounts of oxygen while you're sleeping continuously all through the night. Decreased oxygen kills cells. It certainly does not help your health, and it has the potential to cause much greater harm and to cause long-term illness. So don't think that lack of oxygen doesn't matter, or that the sleep apnea is inconsequential. It's not. It's actually, it really is an important medical condition that does need to be managed. Okay, so I strongly suggest that if you have a sleep study and you do have sleep apnea, that you really consider the CPAP machine. I know it's a big machine. I know a lot of people hate them, but it will improve your health. All right, and then just to end this particular talk, I haven't talked too much about it in the other webinars, but so this is my mission. The reason I do this is because I want to educate, empower, and partner with individuals and families to promote skilled and motivated self-advocates who collaborate with their care team to meet overall health and wellness goals and reduce the need for acute medical interventions. You know, in general, when we're all living our best life, we're not running to the doctor. We might be calling the doctor, we might be interacting with the doctor, we might have appointments, but that's different than I need to get to urgent care. I need to stop in an emergency room. I'm going to be admitted to the hospital for something acute, something that wasn't planned. I want to help you to live healthier, happier, at home, your own life, kind of managing your own health, because you can do it. And a lot of people, that's their goal, especially post-COVID. A lot of us want to be able to just exist in the world and not be worried about our health. So in terms of available services, if you go to my website, www.reliablern.com, you can see all these services, but there's pre and post medical visit consults to review blood work, lab work, what went on at your physical. I do education and clarification of all imaging or tests. I can do support during an acute hospitalization. I would do ongoing virtual question and answer times 3 times a week. And I can do individual coaching for specific health concerns like blood pressure, weight management, stress reduction. Some of that might actually be covered by your health savings accounts, and care transition assistance. So anybody moving from hospital to home, hospital to rehab, home to assisted living, even if you're going to be moving from hospital to hospice, I can help sometimes to smooth the transition process. And professional healthcare advocacy. What that is for some of my clients, I actually go to the hospital with them, or I will go to doctor's appointments and take notes, and I will help them to be able to look back on the visit and kind of pull out the important pieces and things they can do at home to increase their wellness. So feel free to email me directly or to be in touch, and hopefully you'll join us for the next webinar, which, believe it or not, is going to be on nutrition. So the next one will be sometime towards the end of September of 2022, and it will be on nutrition. Thank you so much for joining me.